Autumn letters in Vermont. The town of Maple Ridge, Vermont, was the kind of place that looked like it had been painted by hand, golden leaves tumbling through the wind, red barns standing like proud old souls, and white picket fences wrapping around porches that carried the scent of cider and distant laughter. It was also the last place Lily Everhart wanted to be. But life has a funny way of dragging you back to the places you've tried to leave behind. Lily was a travel photographer who'd seen more sunsets than most people could dream of. But when her mother passed away, leaving her the family bookstore, Everhart Pages, she found herself boarding a flight from San Francisco back to the town she swore she'd never live in again. Her plan was simple: pack up the shop, list it for sale, and be gone before the first snowfall. But life, as always, had other plans. The bookstore sat on the corner of Maple Street and Apple Grove Lane. Dust danced in the sunbeams streaming through the front window. The shelves smelled of vanilla and age. Everything was just as her mother left it, including the letters. They were hidden behind the counter, bundled together with a red ribbon. Her name was written on the top envelope in cursive, her mother's unmistakable handwriting. "Start here, my wandering girl," the note read. Each letter contained a memory, a reflection, a little mystery. Some spoke of Lily's childhood, others of her mother's secret dreams. And one, dated 16 years ago, mentioned a boy named Noah Whitaker. Noah had been her best friend, the boy who carried her books and defended her in middle school fights. The boy who kissed her under the covered bridge on her 17th birthday. The boy she never said goodbye to. He had written her letters too, back then, pages filled with love and longing, but she never read them. She was already packing her bags for New York, too hungry for escape to look back. Now, sitting behind the bookstore counter, Lily opened those old letters. Noah's words were raw, tender, and filled with a hope that stung. In one, he wrote, "I know you have to go. But I also know you'll come back someday. When you do, I'll be right here." She almost laughed. How could he have been so certain? The next day, she wandered into the town's only coffee shop, the Roasted Bean, more out of habit than need. And there he was, Noah. Older, broader, his jawline sharper, but his eyes exactly the same. Warm, mischievous, familiar. They both froze. Ben smiled. "Didn't expect to see you in Vermont," he said, voice low like velvet. "Didn't expect to be seen," she replied. They had coffee that day. Then lunch 2 days later. Then long walks around the lake where the birch trees wept gold into the water. They talked of what-ifs and almosts. Of lives that twisted in opposite directions. She learned he was now a literature teacher at the local high school. He had married once. Divorced. No kids. "I waited for you," he said once, as they walked through the farmer's market. Then life started happening. "I thought I'd forgotten how to miss you. I was wrong." Lily had never felt more conflicted. Her life was elsewhere, clients, contracts, commitments. But this town, these letters, this man, everything felt like a heartbeat she'd ignored too long. The final letter from her mother came 1 week later. It was left on the bookstore's front door, tucked into a bouquet of dried hydrangeas. "Sweet girl, I kept this place alive not just for me, but for you. Because I knew one day, the noise would quiet, and you'd remember what love sounds like." That night, Noah came over with an old record player and a bottle of wine. They danced barefoot between the bookshelves, the music low, their shadows long. And when he kissed her again, This time as a woman who had seen the world, Lily realized she was exactly where she was meant to be. Months passed. She stayed. She turned Everhart Pages into a community hub, a bookstore by day, poetry cafe by night. And Noah? He came every morning, bringing coffee and stories from his students. He read her poetry and tucked notes into her camera bag. Notes that always ended with, "Still here." Their love wasn't flashy or loud. It didn't need to be. It was stitched slowly, like hand-bound pages in a well-loved book. Steady, true, eternal. And every autumn, when the leaves burned amber and the wind carried the scent of cider, Lily would find herself at the bookstore window, watching the world blur in golden light. She'd turn to Noah and say, "Can you believe this is our life?" And he'd smile, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "I always could." If this story of love, memory, and finding your way home warmed your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Love. Love letter. Open mailbox with raised flag. Tell us, have you ever come back to a place or person that